Hello. This video is going to be hopefully a little bit more interesting than some of the other ones that I've made, but I have been thinking about it, and you see uh, different stories, and I look on MSN online, watching news stories on television. They seem to be quite sporadic, and online, you're not at the mercy of having to listen to what they want you to listen to. You can go where you want. So, just doing brief searches around stuff, I have started to think, there's a lot of things that have happened in the last couple of years that the American people have never received an answer on that I'm aware of. And I did a little bit of look on, I mean, I could spend a couple more hours online and try to find the answers, but some of these things are something I felt should have been put out by our trusted officials. Uh, starting with when the SEAL team that I understand were not under orders, they took it upon themselves to find Bin Laden in that little complex that he's quoted to be found in. And got him effectively. They said they killed him. We'll never know, will we? Certainly, our government has kept people alive less significant than he was at the time, being on the number one on the FBI's most wanted list. Then, why they wouldn't keep him, I don't know. But in any event, because we'll never know. Well, maybe, but we'll see. Did they ever get the what was it, $25 million reward? Did any of those SEALs or anybody involved in that, did they ever get it? I understand they made a movie about it. I didn't see it. But did they ever get that reward? Just curious. Different question. Because I don't see that anywhere. I'm just curious if the FBI actually paid it. That's all. What's the incentive of, hey, you know what? That guy looks like he's on the FBI. And incidentally, there's what, 10 FBI's most 10 of all the fucking criminals on this planet, 10. And there's never been a reiteration. They put some of these Xerox copy printouts at the post office. Is anyone, and has anyone, at any time in the last 10 years, spent time or gone to the post office with the intention of looking through the FBI's most wanted criminal little clipboard thing they have on the wall? Did anyone even know that existed there? I mean, I did. Some of those lines you wait in a while, you tend to look all around, especially, you're bored or whatever. So how does that even help us help the FBI? You see what I'm saying? There's no reiteration of it. There's no repeat out to the public on any kind of constant basis from the FBI saying, listen, we're looking for these people. Help us find them. The America's Most Wanted, they cut a lot of people that way by just putting it on sitcom hours, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are on their fat asses watching television at that time, and I like that show. It's some of it, can't believe what some people do, but I mean, it's been able to catch people anyway. Off on a tangent again. I always do that every time. Excuse me for constantly doing that. I can't promise it won't happen again. It's just the way it is. But moving on to the FBI and that stuff, there are thousands and thousands of people that go missing in national parks in the U.S. This video is all just U.S. And the parks, like Yosemite and all these National Glacier Park and Everglades National Park in Florida, and I mean there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them in Colorado. There's state parks. Yeah, every state obviously has one, and some states have more than one, and thousands of people go missing in them every year. Were you aware that the park officials, the people that run the park, park rangers, but there's actually, every park has an administration, and the federal government has a parks department that, from my understanding, they would appropriate money and address any specific needs, and also adjust and regulate and manage the count of needed resources, such as fire watches, which would be your forest rangers and what have you. They manage all of that and maintain it so that, okay, this park does this, and they know who's retiring, and we need to hire more of these people. And they, from my understanding, they have worked with colleges and universities and the Department of Education and the federal government to set specific requirements on what these rangers' skills should be and what they should learn about. And the majority at this point of their knowledge, and it's a bachelor's degree, generally throughout the entire country, no matter what school you go to that offers this type of training for forest rangery, is learning plant life and identifying different types of trees and plants. It is what it is. That's fine, don't hear about forest rangers much. I think it would be kind of a cool job, as long as you're not stuck out in the freeze in some terrible Alaskan 10 feet snow trying to dig through, because whatever. But all of these missing people, none of these parks are required by anybody, and don't keep any running list or actually any information at all about anyone that goes missing in any of these parks. I'm assuming that the police department or the local police jurisdiction that governs these parks do. But there's a series that's called, I think it's Missing 411, that I apologize to him, I do not remember his name. I'm so terrible with names. But has done quite an extensive study, and even has a map that he's been working on and continues to work on that shows specific clusters around the country of where these missing people have happened, along with some bizarre stories. But I mean, everything's got a bizarre story if you look at it a certain way, doesn't it? So I understand he's had a lot of trouble even dealing with the local police and the people that run and manage these parks, even to find a list, any kind of a list of, okay, these people went missing there. The one group, I believe, it was at a federal level, because there is parks on the Bureau of Forestry or something, and he wanted a condensed full list of everyone within a certain time frame from all the parks in the country. Excuse me, good Lord. Every video, I guess, this time. I apologize. I will be burping for you at every video, so expect it. Hopefully it won't be gross. And they told him that it would be over $1 million. I think it was $1,100,000 some dollars in order to compile this list. He had to pay for it. He had to pay for $1 million at that, for a list of missing people, so that he could work on it and use it with his research. Okay, these are missing human beings on state land. They don't keep a list of who's missing? And since when does the police department, for any reason, not assist the people that they protect and serve? Doesn't all that seem a little ass backwards to you? Seem a little bit funny that's going on there? I have not put my brain into a lot of that. I might, and absolutely, definitely, expose anything I find or see. Where I currently live, there are no close state parks. However, I've been to a number of them, and there's quite a few. I live in Pennsylvania, so there's quite a few parks here. I may do a couple pilgrimages and see anything that I can see there. But just a funny question: how come there isn't as much concern? If you had a piece of land that you opened to the public so that they could enjoy the serenity of nature and what have you, and people started to disappear from it, wouldn't you? Well, first off, wouldn't you try to do everything you could to make sure that that didn't happen? But wouldn't you also at least keep a list or some type of something on record that shows that you are actually concerned and give a shit that this is happening on your land? Well, the states don't seem to think so. They don't seem to think that's important. And I may address that because I'm going to make a video about governors. That some of the stuff, I just don't know which site to put it on because I don't know how in-depth or exposing I'm going to be. But it is what it is. I'll get there when I get there. What's the other question? Excuse me. I should probably just leave these on, right? I had to write them down so I didn't forget. Did we ever find out where the billions of missing dollars from the DoD went? I'm sure the government's easy for them to forget about just a few tiny, measly $1 billion. But the American people don't feel that way. Me, for one. And I have been active duty. I have worked with the government many years. And I understand how things can get... the supply system has always been a cluster anyway. There's way too much turnaround too fast of people that manage it. There's a lot of moving parts and things being tracked incorrectly, things being put under wrong codes, and I get all of that. And it's a big mess. And nobody is going to stop it and take the time to assess everything and do proper asset management. They're just going to keep fucking it away on the go. I get that. They've been doing that for decades. It's not going to change. They just keep adding to it. No, there's nothing we could do. So, well, yeah, there is. You're just lazy fuckers. But billions of dollars? I'm going to also make a series of videos. The DoD is going to be one of them, on my suggestions on how the American people can ensure that things are done the way that they expect them to be done, since it's our money. But anyway, just a question. Does anybody know? In fact, who was working on it? And you know what? How about a little bit of information on that? Because can't find any. That would be very helpful. Billions of dollars. Because when something like that all of a sudden is, well, if we don't talk about it, and I'm going to make a video, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to tell you why you forget. Like that missing plane from Malaysia had 236 people or 226 people. Any follow up on that? You miss a fucking plane? The water's just not that deep there. U.S. Navy has shit that can go down miles. Anyway, I'm going to tell you why you forget. Just one second. Why people forget so easy. Yeah, that'll be a video. It'll be on a different site that's attached to this one called Dark Truth. So I run that too. I run it. Look at me like I'm some kind of... I blab and talk on it like I'm doing here. Who's paying the national debt? Everything... Well, the taxpayers do. Well, yeah. But... Are are we actually up to 21 trillion? You know, as this keeps being added, and I already have planned to do a video on the Fed Reserve. I don't think people are educated enough to exactly what goes on there, but I'll tell them. But on and on, I mean, no matter who's elected president in this year, or is it going to be 25 trillion? You know, where is that cutoff? And you, as far as the Senate, can actually give yourselves pay raises when you have overspent all of this money? Someone please explain that to me, because the cost of fucking living hasn't gone up. Well, it has a little bit for the working class people. I saw a $7 jar of peanut butter. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop being so goddamn greedy. Let the people eat peanut butter. $7. I don't think so. But since there's a lot of things that senators don't pay for that the average American does, and I may do a video on that too. My God, the ideas just flow, don't they? And I said, my God, didn't I? See how programmed? Anyway, I'm trying to get rid of that. I'll have to run a batch. An idiot, worthless, mindless, programmed phrase deletion batch. Watch, I won't be able to talk after. All right, that's a joke. All right, anyway. Why don't people follow what the Bible says? I have yet to, you know, they're out there, or they try to, but they're usually in places where you're never going to see them unless you spend the 6 days climbing up the mountain or, you know, trekking across the desert or something like that. But go to church. It doesn't matter what denomination. You all follow the same book. You just have picked and chosen what out of it you want to follow, apparently. Because if followed to the letter, women don't dress the way that they're told to. They don't act the way that they're told to. Men don't do what they're told to. They don't behave the way that they're told to. Why doesn't anyone follow this? And yet you challenge it. These are also the people that will instantly defend it. Well, you don't fucking follow it, so what are you defending? Your right to disgrace a holy book that you know what I mean? Someone needs to explain that also, because you don't follow it. The Pope, who is, and I could probably do 10 videos on him, but I'd cover all of them, not just this one. You would think that there would be regular kind of reaffirmations and re-educations constantly. It wouldn't just be, you know, 5 times a year. He stands on a balcony somewhere, spits something out that someone else wrote, and then, you know, and disappears and does Lord only knows what. God, I said that. See, programmed. I'll do the batch file after this video. Promise. So, why aren't people following it? The Muslim community follow the Quran. I lived in the Middle East, so they take that pretty seriously. Orthodox Jews, they follow quite well. And I live in a Jewish community and have Jewish family. Well, some of my family's Jewish. The truth on that is somebody was married to somebody that was Jewish, and it counts. It counts. He had to convert, so it counts. Anyway, moving on. I just think that it would be, but the Christians, there's 20 different ways to be a Christian. Actually, 21. Let me add this one. I'm a Christian. There, that's the 21st. It happens. So someone's going to have to explain that. Just an example of what I'm talking about, just with that one. So it's just that there's some kind of a reference. Is the Bible specifically states that women are not to show any of their breastplate collared like this at all times when they're in public. They're also supposed to have a dress, or well, the Bible says dress, I believe, down to the ankles. They're not supposed to show their ankles either. No gold jewelry, nothing that attracts attention to them whatsoever. The hair is supposed to be put up. They are not to leave the house without a hat. All of these things are written pretty plain in the Bible. How many, look, next time you go to your church, look all around and see how many women follow it. Have they even read it? So if they have read it, then they did this to Jesus or God or whatever and said, well, I'll do what I want to do. Or they haven't read it, which just makes them a lying bigot, whore. So, because the Bible calls them whores. It's not just me. That's what the Bible says. So get mad at your God, because those are the words that they used. Just a couple of questions. 21 minutes. Okay, I'd be miraculously lucky programming batch file. I'll run it after this, I promise. If anyone even watches this anyway. So just a couple of questions, and I have millions of them. So, are we ever going to get answers to this? And not like a sideline, someone just got out of college and they got a job at the New York Times. Here's 3 little tiny articles that somebody wrote. Condense them into one and put your name on it. None of that, because we ain't going to get the truth or any of that crap anyway. And I'm just curious, does anybody have any idea the answers to any of this? I know the 411 Missing People's Guide never got any answers. In fact, he was actually specifically told to shut up. Excuse me, that's twice in the same video. My apologies. Kind of a mini Thanksgiving dinner. Anyway. That's it for this one, but just some unanswered questions. I'm sure that everybody has their own, if they're concerned about current events or even some things that have happened, big things that have happened that pretty much impacted the whole world that, hey, are we ever going to get the answer to this? Think about it, because... And my next video is going to be on why you forget and why you will forget. And I will see you then.